Hey Mayhem family, I want to spend a second talking about how we integrate the Ready State programming, or how you can integrate Ready State programming into this incredible Mayhem platform. Now, when we typically look at sort of the movements and the work being done by athletes inside any program, what you quickly realize is, boy, what tissue is not being used, what position is not being used. There's a lot going on, and sometimes that's easy to overwhelm us in terms of area of focus. So specifically, what I'd propose is, it doesn't matter sort of where you want to come into this thing. We like to say you can touch anywhere to begin, but honestly, the thing to do is to take either what was your most difficult movement and use that as a starting point for how you're going to manage or work on your position. Now, ideally, what we'd like you to do is think, hey, I know I'm gonna struggle with a specific shape or specific movement. Pistols are on the program today. Well, I'm gonna have to work on my pistols. So that may mean that I might do a little bit of mobilization prior to doing pistols in the workout so that I don't have to suffer. But you're always ahead of the next pistol. And so another way to think about this is to do your normal general prep. Don't lose your mind. Maybe throw in a single mobilization for it, or survive and then afterwards program to your deficiency. So if it was a pistol, hey, let's spend 10 or 15 minutes in the gym if I've got that time to do some very specific sort of work around a shape or restoration of that shape. So what we're doing is we're more closely conjoining the stimulus for adaptation with the diagnostic tool, right? And then I'm like, oh, afterwards, boom, I can get a little bit of work in. Now, that works really well. What we love to do then also is, hey, let's take the soft tissue work, the general sort of rehab, the general conditioning of the mobility world, and let's put that soft tissue work in at home. So general kind of quads, down regulation, sort of self-myofascial release, self-myofascial mobilization input stuff is going to be a little bit more non-specific. And I can still tie that into what I did for the day. Back is a little bit baked, quads are a little bit cooked, feel like my calves are smoked, whatever it is. I can focus an area for 10 or 15 minutes in the evening. So what we're trying to do is have a little bit more specific connection between programming and take care of the whole body all at once. Now, if you wanted to be more specific, let's just say we had to go overhead today, right? So let's say we were jerking, and we'll use jerk as our main movement. That may be a movement that you were struggling with, so we want to focus on it, but it also may not be the movement you were struggling with, but it may be the area of the real focus today. And if nothing hurts, and you were still smashing it, we can still use that as sort of our seed crystal or kernel idea. Now, the key here is that this jerk has a start position, and it has a finish position. And the key here for you is that you could use our archetype language of start position, finish position, which is shorthand for archetype, right? Front rack to overhead. And I can now specifically program to a start or finish position around some aspect of my training that I did that day. And so what ends up happening then is that it really gives me laser focus on working on the components that make my front rack more effective or make my overhead more effective. Now, just to be super clear, honestly, it probably doesn't matter when you do this. Why? Because you're gonna jerk or go overhead later on this week, or tomorrow, or the next week. There's a lot of overheadedness coming, or you're gonna do pull-ups, or you're gonna do handstands. At some point, I guarantee you, we're gonna end up snatching overhead. So you'll see that no matter what, we're always ahead of the next workout. That's always gonna come. But what we want to do is more closely conjoin our mobilizing, our position transfer exercises with the movements we're doing. What we see is that the nervous system is better at picking that up. You're better at perceiving changes that are going on. So again, either, hey, I did a movement, I sucked at this, what's a component to that? Right? Or what's a start position, finish position for one of the key sort of aspects of the training or the goal training or kind of goal movement today. So for front squatting, let's work on some aspect of the front rack or the bottom position of our squat. What are the challenges? And so what's nice is that now we can begin to layer in sort of this qualitative assessment of my positions today. Man, I really struggled for that today. It wasn't just about poundage. It wasn't just about wattage, although those are the things that we track and really appreciate, but putting this sort of meta-consciousness onto my positional quality can go a long way towards me seeing long-term athletic gains. Hopefully that helps.